Hi. Well, oh, that is very nice. I'm actually going to disagree with the deputy secretary. You don't stand for me. I come in here and show you respect because you have earned it. You can all sit. How many of you have served our country? Raise your hands. Well, the key issue that I like to talk about when I'm traveling around the country is that New Mexico is home to one of the proudest service sets of families in the country. We have a higher per capita average of veterans. We have a higher per capita average of Native American families who dedicate their work and their service to their state and their country. And this legacy of patriotism finds its way into every single community. And I'm going to go completely off script, including right now, while we're in the throes, and this is an official event, not a political event, but we got a week left before an election, and people are really trying to figure out where they are and where they aren't about leadership in this country. And one of the things that are being debated, one of the issues that's being debated, is how the federal government responds to a growing number of disasters, and including in this state, in areas that people would never ever believe that we would have these not 100-year floods, but 500-year dramatic incidents like the flooding in Roswell. What is happening in New Mexico, in every single little community where we've had either a natural disaster or a set of issues that have created emergencies, neighbor to neighbor, friend to friend, business to business, every single elected leader, every volunteer, all the senior Olympians, everyone in that community is cleaning, is making food, is checking on neighbors. And I'm going to tell you this particular story because it does then bring us to today. I went to visit Roswell. I don't go, governors should not be going into disaster areas until when? Otherwise, they're just politicizing it. Until people are safe, right? Until the first responders are safe. You don't interfere. In fact, all the roads were closed because this swift water was so incredibly dangerous that we did about 360 swift water rescues between the hours of 1:30 a.m. and about 7 a.m. during that flooding. All right, so it was incredible. And the reason we were so on it is because the New Mexico National Guard was doing swift water rescue training with all of their equipment that weekend in Roswell. Now, if that's not divine intervention, I don't know what is. And so hundreds of lives were saved because they were all right there. So when the roads become open, all those swift water rescues are done and the water's receding, then someone like me can go in. And the damage is stunning. Piles of cars into the canals, one after another, stacked, because that water took cars from your driveway, wherever you were parked, and just moved them swiftly into these canals. And then they blocked the bridges and impacted the safety of all these bridges. It's dramatic. It's a stunning scene right out of the movies. We are now going door to door, just talking to families. They didn't have time to really get out. They lost their pets. Your house was 6 feet of water was coming into your house in a matter of not minutes, but seconds. All right. One of those individuals, a family, they didn't work immediately to get their belongings out and to move their cars and to knock on their next door neighbor. They got out of their house in the black depth of that early morning hours. They ran 3 blocks away from their neighborhood, trying to navigate that water. And where were they headed? They were headed to a senior's house, a disabled retiree who lives by himself, who has no family in the area. And they made sure that they provided his immediate rescue. And they also rescued his companion, his pet. That was the first thing they did. The second thing they did was make sure that we know where he is, make sure he's going to get food, that we're going to get his house cleaned and repaired. We're going to file all of those claims to FEMA. And it's more recognition that while communities do such incredible work, that we still have so far to go in making sure that every person in New Mexico, every retiree, every family has every tool to remain independent. And I know that in this conference day, you're going to hear a lot about how to plan for these journeys, but we also need the services and tools that allow you to make the very choices that impact your quality of life. And I'm not convinced even a little that we're doing enough in these rural communities, at our pueblos and our tribes, to create the kind of services, living arrangements, caregiving supports, spouse to spouse supports, older women taking care of their 90-year-old spouses and their adult disabled children. There is too much of that in far too many communities without sufficient tools. We have 2 years. Now, we started the New Mexicare program. It's a $10 million program. It's a good program. But far too few communities are utilizing that program. And far too few of those resources are making its way out of the department. So you know what I want you to do? I can't be the only one who's bossing them around. You need to help me. So this is my call to action. There are no better advocates for the tools and the services and the supports for dignity and quality of life, for investments in your family that are meaningful. You built these communities. You build every service. You've taken care of every other family. You stand up for everybody else. Well, I'm ready for this state to stand up for you. And I want it yesterday. All right, so write a note, tell people what you want. Help me find the individuals like our gentleman in Roswell. He's a perfect example about getting in-home care in a much more meaningful way. That's not to diminish the kindness of neighbors. It's to enhance the stability of that environment. Because if we only rely on our neighbors, what happens if they move away? Then my gentleman is there alone, and I might not have known anything about him. And that really hurts my feelings. So here's what I want in the next 2 years. I want the New Mexicare program. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it completely doesn't care about income anymore. It just says if you need more in-home care, we will pay family members and other informal caregivers to provide the day-to-day presence in a home that makes the difference between you being able to live there or caring for a loved one and not being able to stay. And that should be more than 10 million. Let's see if we can't double or triple the size of that program in this legislative session, but then I need us to use it. So between now and January, I need to go from 71 participants in that program to 1,000 participants in that program. Are you with me? Are you going to go to the Aging and Long-Term Services booth? You write your name down, or you write the community where you want us to come and give a presentation, because I need these folks getting these services right now. Right, that's one. And then two, whatever happens after this election, we're at least debating Medicare again. We have to protect and preserve Medicare. Make no mistake, that's going to be an issue in the next Congress. We also have an opportunity where we're having candidates discuss in-home care, informal caregiving, not home health. So when you go from a hospital to your house, you get a temporary benefit that's paid for by Medicare. How about a long-term care benefit that's paid for by Medicare? So we have an opportunity. But I want you to know this: states like New Mexico with a higher number of disabled older people, largely because, back to the beginning, you stood up and took care of your country and your community. That means that we have less and our burdens are higher. That's what that means. We did the right thing, and now we need the government to make sure that that investment is returned right back to the men and women who stood up for their states and their nation. So we're going to fight for these benefits in Congress, because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a fight. And New Mexico should always be on the side of expanding and protecting Social Security and Medicare, bar none. Always. That belongs to you. That promise was made to you, and letting it dwindle is not an option for this country, not for anyone, I don't think, who's in this room today. So are you ready to fight for all the things that belong to you? I'm ready to fight. Okay. I want you to enjoy your day. I'm not the keynote speaker. I'm already going to be in trouble for speaking too long. But I'm delighted to see so many retirees in the room. That's great. And I'm really excited about building these programs. It does, in fact, require that we all work a little harder together to push the folks who make the decisions about delivering the service. They can go faster and they can do better. So congratulations on all the other things we've accomplished, but thank you so very much for allowing me to tell you how much I care and how much I respect you and how much more I want in your homes and communities for your families. Have a great day. Thank you for letting me come and say hello. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see everyone. Thank you.